Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Jai Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Hey Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Hey Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari O Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Hey Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hey Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Hey Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana O Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Hey Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana O Yashodanandana Brajajanaranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hey Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jaya Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Radhe. Jai Radha Kalachandji Radha Kalachandji Radhe. Jai Radha Kalachandji Radha Kalachandji Radhe. Jai Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe Radhe. Jai Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Radhe. Jai Jai Shri Caitanya Jai Nityananda. Jai Jai Shri Caitanya Jai Nityananda. Jai Dvaita Chandra Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Oh Jai Jai Shri Caitanya Jai Nityananda. Hey Jai Jai Shri Caitanya Jai Nityananda. Oh Jai Dvaita Chandra Jai Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hey Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Shri Caitanya Jai Nityananda. Jai Jai Shri Caitanya Jai Nityananda. Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Oh Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Haribol, 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 Gaura Haribol. Hanitai Gaur Haribol, 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 Gaur Haribol. Nitai Gaur. Jayom Vishnupad Paramhamsa Parivrajagacharya Ashtottara Satta Shishimad His Divine Grace Shilesi Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Caitanya Charitamrta Ki Srila Prabhupada Ki. Who was here last week? One person. You were two. So we'll catch up a little bit, or I'll give you a little backtrack. So last week's class was talking about, what's his name? Kala Krishna Das. He was a personal associate of Lord Caitanya. Oh, now we're going to start on Madhya Lila, chapter 10. We'll start on 63. We'll go back a few verses, or 65, sorry. 65. Jaya. So Kala Krishna Das was a personal servant of Lord Caitanya that got allured by the Bhattaharis. They were a group of gypsies that had a tactic to increase their party by sending out women to allure people and bring them to their camp. And that happened even to a personal associate of Lord Caitanya named Kala Krishna Das. So we're continuing the verses on that. I can't hear you. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So there's one beautiful verse says that for one who remembers Lord Caitanya, the most difficult things become easy. But those who forget Lord Caitanya, even the easiest things become very difficult. So, Abai, can you say Gauranga? Nityananda! Nityananda! So last night we had a beautiful Harinam at this Diwali festival in South Park. And Abai and his friends and myself and others, we had a nice, they also did a Mridanga presentation and Kirtan on the stage. And then after we went around the whole festival doing Harinam. That was very, very blissful. Is it ready? I am going to start with the people and the verse if we're going to use that thing. Do you have you have a microphone? Okay, Madhya Lila, chapter 10, text 65 we'll start with. And you can start and do 2 verses each, I guess, to get some momentum.
And we can start with 65.
Yes.
Now that I have brought him here, I am asking him to leave. Now he can go wherever he likes, for I am no longer responsible for him. Purport. Kala Krishna Das was influenced and allured by nomads or gypsies who enticed him with women. Maya is so strong that Kala Krishna Das left Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's company to join gypsy women. Even though a person may associate with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he can be allured by Maya and leave the Lord's company due to his slight independence. Only one who is overwhelmed by Maya can be so unfortunate as to leave Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's company. Yet unless one is very conscientious, the influence of Maya can drag one away, even though he be the personal assistant of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and what to speak of others. The Bhattaris used to increase their numbers by using women to allure outsiders. This is factual evidence showing that it is possible at any time to fall down from the Lord's association. One need only misuse his little independence. Once fallen and separated from the Supreme Personality of Godhead's association, one becomes a candidate for suffering in the material world. Although rejected by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Kal Krishna Das was given another chance, as the following verse relate. Text 66. Hearing the Lord reject him, Kala Krishna Das began to cry. However, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not caring for him, immediately left to take his noon lunch.
After this, the other devotees headed by Nityananda Prabhu, Jagadanand, Mukunda and Damodar began to consider a certain plan. Do we need to read purport?
Yeah, read the purport.
Even though a person is rejected by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the devotees of the Lord do not reject him. Therefore, the Lord's devotees are more merciful than the Lord himself. Srila Narottam Das Thakur thus sings, Chadiya Vaishnava Seva Nishtara Peyacha Keba. One cannot be relieved from the material clutches without engaging in the service of pure devotees. The Lord himself may sometimes be very hard, but the devotees are always kind. Thus, Kala Krishna Das received the mercy of the 4 devotees mentioned above.
This is the theme. One moment. This is the theme of the class is chastisement by the Lord, and we can see it as his love. So that's just to keep in mind what we're going to talk about, and what the Chaitanya Charitamrta Lila is also amplifying, magnifying. Go ahead.
The Lord's 4 devotees considered, we want a person to go to Bengal just to inform Shachi Mata about Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's arrival at Jagannath Puri.
After hearing news of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's arrival, devotees like Advaita and Srivas will certainly come to see him. Let us therefore send Krishna Das to Bengal. Saying this, they kept Krishna Das engaged in the service of the Lord and gave him assurance. Purport. Because Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu rejected him, Kala Krishna Das became very, very sorry and began to cry. Therefore, the Lord's devotees took compassion upon him, gave him assurance, and encouraged him to continue to engage in the Lord's service.
The next day, all the devotees asked Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, please give permission for a person to go to Bengal. Mother Sachi and all the devotees headed by Advaita Prabhu are all very unhappy due to not receiving news about your return from your South India tour.
One person should go to Bengal and inform them about the auspicious news of your return to Jagannath Puri. Purport. Upon hearing this, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied, do whatever you decide. In this text 74, in this way, Kala Krishna Das was sent to Bengal, and he was given sufficient quantities of Lord Jagannath's food remnants to distribute there.
Thus Kala Krishnadas went to Bengal, and he first went to Navadvip to see Mother Sachi. Upon reaching Mother Sachi, Kala Krishnadas first offered his obeisances and delivered the food remnants, Mahaprasadam. He then informed her of the good news that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had returned from his South Indian tour.
This good news gave much pleasure to Mother Sachi as well as to all the devotees of Navadip, headed by Srivas Thakur. Hearing of Lord Chaitanya's return to Puri, everyone became very glad. Krishnadas next went to the house of Advaita Acharya.
After paying him respectful obeisances, Krishnadas offered Mahaprasadam to Advaita Acharya. He then informed him of the news of Lord Chaitanya in complete detail. When Advaita Acharya Goswami heard of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's return, he became very pleased. In his great ecstasy of love, he made a rumbling sound and danced and chanted for a long time.
Just imagine, you don't need, when you're filled with love for Lord Chaitanya, you don't even need musical accompaniment. Lord Advaita Acharya was just dancing and chanting on his own. No mention of instruments or others. Kirtan party.
Also hearing this auspicious news, Haridas Thakur became very pleased. So also did Vasudev Dutt, Murari Gupta, and Shivananda Sain. Acharya Ratna, Rakeshwar, Pandit, Acharya Nidhi and Gadadhar Pandit were all very pleased to hear this news.
Sri Rama Pandit, Damodar Pandit, Srimant Pandita, Shri Jaya and Sridhar were also very pleased to hear it. Raghav Pandit, Nandanacharya and all the devotees became very satisfied. How many can I describe?
Everyone was very pleased and they all gathered together at the house of Advaita Acharya. All the devotees offered respectful obeisances at the lotus feet of Advaita Acharya, and in return Advaita Acharya embraced them all.
Advaita Acharya then held a festival that lasted 2 or 3 days. Thereafter, they all made a firm decision to go to Jagannath Puri.
See, we should follow in the footsteps of the associates of Lord Chaitanya. If you hear some good news, or you hear some, if you have you come to Bhagavatam class and you hear some good katha, you should feel so enlivened. You should hold a festival for 2 or 3 days. Advaita Acharya then held a festival that lasted 2 or 3 days. Thereafter, they all made a firm decision to go to Jagannath Puri.
All the devotees met together at Navadvip and with Mother Sachi's permission departed for Niladri Jagannath Puri.
They asked Mother Sachi's permission. That's also very blissful, right? So we see that, maybe can you do 2 verses?
The inhabitants of Kulinagram, Satyaraj, Ramananda, and all the other devotees there came and joined Advaita Acharya. Text 90. Mukunda, Narahari, Raghunandan, and all the others came from Kanda to Advaita Acharya's home to accompany him to Jagannath Puri.
So now I'll just read, at the end of each chapter of Bhagavatam or CC, there's a phala shruti, right? You get the fruit, or you get a benediction for reading. So I'll just read a few verses, then we'll do the Mangalacharna, and then we'll discuss. So, Yatanada Nadiyache Samudra Milaya, this is Madhya 10, 186, or 187. Yache Mahaprabhura Bhakta Yahantahan Haya. As all the rivers flow into the sea, All the devotees throughout the country finally came to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's shelter. Since all the devotees came to him for shelter, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu showed them all mercy and kept them under his protection. How many of you would like to be under Lord Chaitanya's protection? Hare Krishna! Thus I have described the meeting of all the Vaishnavas with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Whoever hears this description ultimately attains the shelter of his lotus feet. Shri Rupa Raghunatha Pariyara Ash Chaitanya Charitamrta Kahe Krishna Das. Praying at the lotus feet of Shri Rupa and Shri Raghunath, always desiring their mercy, I, Krishna Das, narrate Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, following in their footsteps. Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarjatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Brindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Brinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we see by these pastimes how the Lord reciprocates with love with his devotees, that even seemingly harsh, right? The Kala Krishna Das was so distraught about Lord Chaitanya not wanting him in his association that he was crying and crying. And Lord Chaitanya, in that one verse, it says, Lord Chaitanya not even caring, or was it worded? He just went to take prasad without showing concern. So on one angle of vision, you think, whoosh, that's harsh, right? But we see that the devotees of the Lord, like Giriraj Swami has said, that the Krishna is in Goloka Vrindavan enjoying his pastimes, and that's far, far, far away from our reality. But the extension of his mercy, the arm that reaches from Goloka, is his devotees, the association of his loving devotees. So although he was seemingly rejected by the Lord, he was given service by the Lord's devotees, intimate service, to talk about the pastimes that he personally experienced and witnessed to his most beloved mother Sachi, right? Lord Chaitanya once said, I have two mothers and two sources of supreme shelter, my mother Sachi and mother Ganga. So we know there's that verse that says that the devotees are in the heart of Krishna and Krishna is in the heart of his devotees. And then Krishna says, I don't know anybody else but my devotees, and my devotees don't know anything but me. So in the one translation, it's saying that the devotees are in my heart and I'm in their heart, but then another way that it's translated is the devotees are my heart. So if you're getting association with the devotees, that means you're getting the direct, loving, heartfelt, intimate care of the Lord. Kalachanjidama ki, Sadhu Sangha ki, Kirtan 50 ki, Kalachanji's restaurant ki, Caitanya Charitamrta on Sundays ki, Srimad Bhagavatam every other day ki, Gaur Premanande. So every aspect of Krishna, just like the Beatles, they said, God is love, right? Or so this is a reality that we're waking up to more and more as devotees, or people, or souls, that sincere souls that are approaching the Lord. What does devotional service mean? It means to reawaken our dormant, loving, devotional relationship with the Lord. So to different degrees, we're on that comeback. We're making a revival. We're making a comeback to remember the loving relationship. And even as a parent, a parent may seemingly correct their dependent, but they're doing it out of affection. It may seem strict, it may seem tough love or whatnot, but we can see from another angle of vision that is actually for the benefit of the dependent. So similarly here, Lord Caitanya or Krishna, they're non-different. So everything he does, everything is to increase the loving experience of the devotee. Just like the devotee is always the topmost devotees, they're always trying to give pleasure to Krishna in every way, ever increasing ways, right? So similarly in reciprocation, Krishna is constantly, just like the devotee is Krishna Prema Nitya Siddha. The eternal situation of every soul is to be in ecstatic love with Krishna. And Krishna is Bhakta Vatsal, that Krishna is in ever increasing love with his devotees. So this relationship is being shown here, how Lord Chaitanya shows his love. And I wanted us to think of maybe other ways that Lord Chaitanya was externally hard as a thunderbolt but soft as a rose. Can you all think of some past times where Lord Chaitanya was hard as a thunderbolt but soft as a rose? Jaya and Madhya, you want to speak a little bit in the mic about how or why?
Ready to dispatch them with the Sudarshan Chakra. And then after Lord Nityananda prayed, begged him to be merciful, then he was soft as a rose, gave his mercy. Just a thought.
Yeah, it's a beautiful example also, because Lord Chaitanya was, like it's in the purport, in the first purport, it was saying how the Lord may be hard, or I think it said that, used that word, but the devotees are more merciful by the Lord's grace, right? Just like it's explained that a father, out of love, they want their child to be better than them, do better things, have better experiences in life. So similarly, by Krishna's empowerment, Krishna may act a certain way, but he empowers his devotees to be more merciful, as the Prabhupada explains, than himself by His grace. So that pastime you're bringing up is Lord Chaitanya was going to give him the chakra, which would also been merciful too. They, just like the point of they become liberated. What was the chance? What's the of them getting liberation? By their activities, they would been experiencing hellish sufferings for many, many lifetimes. So that would have been mercy also. Everything is absolute with Krishna, right? His punishment, His mercy. You get liberated. All of the personalities that were killed by Krishna get liberated. But Nityananda, who is non-different from Lord Chaitanya, he said, no, if you would have to kill everybody in Kali Yuga. So your weapons in Kali Yuga are your associates and the Sankirtan. You're not, just like Krishna also didn't use weapons, but Lord Chaitanya also, Kali Yuga Nashana, he's destroying our demoniac propensities with the Harinam Sankirtan. Yeah, excuse me. Anybody else have a bye?
I don't remember the name of the devotee that got the mercy, but the one that was associating with Mayavadis, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came across this, so he said, you have to leave Shivas. Okay. And then he said, you will never get my association for millions of lifetimes. And then he said, but that means there's a chance. And then just based on that sincerity, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought him back.
Yeah, that's a beautiful pastime. Also, Lord Chaitanya was doing the Mahaprakash, where he was revealing everybody's personal Ishtadev. He sat on the altar of one devotee and would manifest according to all the different devotees' personal love for a certain aspect or incarnation or expansion of the Lord. He would manifest that incarnation and give special blessings. But he didn't give to, who's the devotee? Mukunda? Mukunda Dutt? Anybody remember exactly? So this devotee, the devotees again, on his behalf, the devotees asked, but Mahaprabhu, why aren't you calling Mukunda? And Lord Chaitanya, like Abai said, because he associates with us and relishes Hari Katha and does Kirtan, and then he does the same with the Mayavadis and appreciates there. So he will not, then they were asking, well, when will you give him your darshan? He said, after millions and millions of births. And they went and told him, and he was dancing and saying, I will see, I will see. And then that his mood of that after millions of births that he would see Lord Chaitanya overwhelmed Lord Chaitanya so much that Lord Chaitanya said, okay, bring him now. And the devotees came and were trying to get his attention, and he was so overwhelmed that in the future he would see and dancing and thinking of that he didn't hear him at first. That's how I heard Radhanath Swami tell the pastime. And then, they got his attention and he got darshan right away. Tulsi? So we're thinking of the punishment.
pastime was Maharaj Prataprudra. Mahaprabhu said, he's a king, I will not see him. And then the devotees planned to make him go to the place where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was resting and chant the Gopi Gita, I think, or something.
Is that the
I don't know what
Tava Caitanyamritam? Yeah, is that Gopi Gita or some? Huh?
And so then,
yeah, that's a beautiful one too. Yeah, on one level, he said, "Yeah, I won't see the king, and if you bring this up again, you'll never see me again." Also, Lord Chaitanya was so strict. But then if you remember the pastime, then he schemed up so many different ways. Then he said, the devotees arranged for his son to be brought, and Lord Chaitanya, seeing him embraced, because he reminded this son of King Prataparudra reminded Lord Chaitanya of Krishna, and Lord Chaitanya embraced the son of King Prataparudra. And then not only that mercy, but then the devotees schemed up, since Lord Chaitanya is so strict about this, and they were very nervous to bring it up again, although King Prataparudra was requesting again and again, please try again that I can have Lord Chaitanya's darshan. So then they got some of his cloth that they gave. And, there's detailed description of how anything in connection with the Lord's service has the same personal spiritual potency of the Lord, the Tadiya. So that he was given that cloth that was directly worn by the Lord. And then, like you said, that when Lord Chaitanya was dancing in the Rath Yatra, he, at a certain place, they would offer, the carts would stop and they would offer prasad from all sides. And that's the time where Lord Chaitanya and his associates took rest, because they were dancing so exuberantly for so long. And when Lord Chaitanya lied down, the devotees said, you dress like a simple Vaishnava, don't wear your kingly attire, and you approach the Lord and chant these verses. And then Lord Chaitanya was in a resting mood, lying down, and King Prataparudra came and was massaging his legs and singing these verses, and he overwhelmed the Lord with so much devotion. And he said, who are you? And he said, I am just the servant of your servant, I think. Is that? And he also, then he embraced him. And then another mercy was when Lord Chaitanya was dancing in ecstasy, when he was about to fall down unconscious, and he gave indirectly the mercy that King Prataparudra caught him. And even he was still, when he came to his external consciousness, he said, Haram, like this is most abominable, when he saw that it was King Prataparudra. So on one level still, Lord Chaitanya is still, there's so many, layers of things going on. But Lord Chaitanya, as we see, is giving mercy. And anybody else like to have a memory of how Lord Chaitanya was punishing or externally? Can you give him the mic and he can tell us a little about that? Okay.
Well, Junior Haridas was associated with Lord Chaitanya, and I think he just looked lustfully at a mother.
Yeah, actually, Lord Chaitanya said that he had a certain amount of associates that he would associate intimately with. One was Sikhi Mahiti, and his elderly sister was named Madhavi. And somebody was going to cook for Lord Chaitanya, and they asked Chota Haridas to get some boga, and he went and begged from her house. He didn't look lustfully. It's explained that he approached her and he asked her for rice. Lord Chaitanya said, I never want to see you again. To make the strict, because he was in the renounced order of life, and just so that in the future, as Prabhupada puts in the purport, that in the future, that people won't take advantage of this activity and say that those that have accepted the renounced order of life can act loosely with the opposite sex, to make such a strict example. And Chota Haridas was so distraught that he committed suicide. But in his in his spiritual body as a Gandharva, he would come and sing to Lord Chaitanya, and it would please Lord Chaitanya. But yeah, that's a that verse is homework for every. That pastime is is homework for everybody too. This is very heavy. But that also, then we see that the outcome is that Lord Chaitanya accepted his singing in a. Can you look up the Chota Haridas in the CC on your phone? I'll just read the end verses of that one. So yeah, so the theme of the class is that the loving nature of the Lord is what devotional service is all about. It's reawakening our relationship with the Lord, and part of that means to understand more and more that we're protected, that we're nourished, that we're overwhelmingly loved by the Lord. Just like Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur said that the only thing missing in the material world is Krishna consciousness. But everything else, and that's a big thing. It's like they in the material world say there's a hole, there's a God hole in the heart, and it needs to be filled. So that's what devotional service is. Every aspect of chanting, hearing, remembering, worshiping, praying, all these. Can you go to the last verses? Or the last verse, exactly, the last verse. Yeah. So all these activities, they reconnect us with Krishna, who's our dearmost friend, right? Just like Indrajumna Swami likes to say that, what is chanting? Prabhupada's asked, what is the meaning of chanting Hare Krishna? And then Indrajumna Swami says that Prabhupada would answer in different ways at different times. But this one time, he said, "Oh my friend, oh my friend, oh my friend." So just like Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita that Sukhidam Sarvabhutanam, that he's the most dear friend, right? I just imagine, like, we have different relationships in our life, and we get satisfaction from those relationships. But imagine, that's what Krishna consciousness is remembering that our most dear friend, our lover, or our most beloved is the Bhagavan, the source of unlimited beauty, unlimited strength, unlimited intelligence, unlimited wealth, unlimited renunciation, unlimited fame, right? So if we're conscious of this, then what is the difficulty? Prabhupada would say, what is the difficulty? The difficulty is that we're not so much conscious. It's a thing in the back of our mind, but it's not the forefront of our conscious existence, right? So that's what these pastimes of Lord Chaitanya are showing. Lord Chaitanya, if we read the Chaitanya Caritamrta, we see how the Lord loves his devotees. If we read the Srimad Bhagavatam, we see how the devotees surrender to the Lord and how the Lord protects them and gives them all encouragement and gives them all nourishment. So this is what Sadhu Sangha, this is what class is for, and Kirtan is to inspire each other by our own connection with Krishna, and whatever spills over, so to speak, that's what sharing is, right? So that's what Lord Chaitanya did. What was his preaching? His preaching was his own desire to be Krishna conscious, his own intensity to love Krishna, and that was exhibited in Kirtan, mainly for Lord Chaitanya, right? then those that got the great blessing of his association, just like they say, well, Lord Chaitanya went to a village and somebody saw Lord Chaitanya, they would be infused with love of Krishna. And if somebody, then he went back to his village, those that saw the person that saw him were infused. So spiritual enthusiasm is contagious, and we can get more and more of that enthusiasm by hearing about the Lord. So any reflections, or I'll read it after, I guess. Anything devotees would like to share? Yes, Prabhu.
Thank you. Going from Mayapur to Advaita Acharya's house in Shantipur, that's over 60 miles. So that's a good 2 days of walking, which is how they got around back in those days. They would walk. So they walked 2 days, at least 2 days, maybe 3, to get to Advaita Acharya's house, had a 4-day festival, and apparently walked home. So that's like half a month.
Well, they didn't walk home because they all decided to go to Puri, and then they walked to Puri.
Then they walked to Puri. So I never hear about these people ever going to work. How do they survive? You know, have you ever read anywhere in Caitanya Caritamrta of anybody even growing food or doing any kind of income at all?
Well, one thing comes to mind is there was one devotee that he was a grihasta and he was not very capable of maintaining his, balancing his bills. I don't know, his, whatever they were. But I remember reading in Caitanya Caritamrta that Lord Chaitanya asked another devotee who was maybe more savvy on the balance, if you want to call it, to help this devotee. That's one thing that comes to mind. The Lord Chaitanya, even being totally, absorbed in kirtan and love of God, he also saw the need there. And yeah, and then Shivananda Sain, we know that he was taking care of all the expenditures for their the devotees' journey to Jagannath Puri. So there's an explanation of, I don't know what he did. But yeah, I guess, the focus is more on the spiritual absorption of their relationship and these things. Just like they said that Lord Chaitanya was absorbed day and night in thinking of Krishna, and his bodily activities went on just like circumstantially. So I think that's a great example that we can, a lot of us probably put too much energy into that side of life. Not that we should be irresponsible. Prabhupada was super practical and, said we should, be balanced and whatnot, but I think we should take the example and weigh a little more on the kirtan side of life, or pilgrimage side of life. So we should all start walking to Jagannath Puri right now. Oh, that's right. There's an example. And he gave more than, and Lord Chaitanya would cheat him. And then, So we got a banana leaf salesman. Yeah, he would sponsor feasts, and then he realized, well, I do this. Then he ended up, not accepting the money coming from his family and just getting more and more extreme in his renunciation. All we know about Rupa and Sanatan, I guess they were politicians. And they know, and it's detailed about their money and how they balance their money. Any others have a comment? What is this? Can I see the last purport? Can someone read it?
Summarizing this chapter, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that one should derive from it if the following lessons for, although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in an incarnation of mercy, he nevertheless gave up the company of one of this personal associate, namely
Junior Haridas.
Junior Haridas, for if he had not done so,
Pseudo.
would have taken advantage of Junior Haridas's fault by using it as an excuse to live as a devotee, and at the same time have illicit sexual consciousness. Such activities would have demoralized the cult of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and as a result, devotee would surely have gone to a hellish life in the name of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
By chastising Junior Haridas, the Lord set the standard for acharyas, or the heads of institutions propagating the Chaitanya cult. And for all actual devotees, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to maintain the highest standard.
Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed that a pure devotee should be simple and free from sinful activities, and for thus one can be his bona fide servant. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taught his followers how to observe the renounced order strictly. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to prove that his devotees are exalted and their character is ideal. He kindly accepts his faithful devotees and teaches them how much tribulation and disturbance can be produced even by a slight deviation from the strict principles of devotional service. By chastising Junior Haridas, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibited his mercy toward him, thus showing how elevated was Junior Haridas' devotion for him. Because of his
one sec, I'd just like to stress, by chastising Junior Haridas, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibited his mercy toward him. That's nice realization.
Because of this transcendental relationship, the Lord corrected even a slight offense committed by his pure devotee. Therefore, one who wants to be a pure devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu should give up all material sense gratification, otherwise the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are very difficult to attain. If one dies in such a celebrated place as Prayag, Mathura or Vrindavan, one can be relieved of the reactions of the sinful life and then attain the shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although a pure or faithful devotee may fall down, he nevertheless ultimately gets the chance to go back home, back to Godhead by the mercy of the Lord.
Jai. So that's the cherry on the cake. That although we may be fallen, that our hope is the mercy of the Lord, which is always available. And Krishna says that as those surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. So this is what we want. We want to reciprocate with the Lord's mercy by serving His devotees. Hari Om Tat Sat. Chaitanya Charitamrta ki. Gaur Premanandi.